I'm not sure which, is there one that we need to do last because he's in the cell? I'm not sure which one it is.
Sounds like Mr. Welch. He eventually refused to talk to me, Your Honor, but I think I have what I need to proceed.
Okay, we'll do Welch last then. Okay. Okay, on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Dylan Patrick Christian, file number 23-01953, counsel appearance.
Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant for the purposes of arraignment only while he appears separately from the Lansing Police Department.
Okay, you're Mr. Dylan Patrick Christian?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Christian, today's the date and the time set for arraignment. I have here a misdemeanor complaint. The allegations are that on or about June 8th, 2023 at 900 Long Boulevard, apartment 361, City of Lansing, Ingham County, State of Michigan, that you did allegedly contrary to law commit the act in count 1 of domestic violence, and that you did make an assault or assault and battery upon an Autumn Thwing, an individual with whom you had a child in common or a resident or former resident of your household or an individual in which you had a dating relationship, and that this was done contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.812. Restitution may be ordered if convicted, as this may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. This is a misdemeanor. Maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You have the right to be represented by an attorney, and Ms. Donnelly from the Office of the Public Defender is representing you today for the purposes of your arraignment only. However, you have the right to have an attorney with you to represent you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and you have the right to have an attorney to represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty, plead not guilty, or stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed to a jury trial. And you have the right to a jury trial, and you have the right to the presumption of innocence at your trial. That means you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to confront and cross-examine in court any of the witnesses called to testify against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence at trial that you believe further a defense to the charge being brought against you. And you have the right to remain silent at trial and not have silence be used to imply or prove that you're guilty. Do you have any questions about those rights at this time?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you're currently scheduled for a pre-trial conference before Judge Cynthia Ward. That's going to be December 11th, 2023 at 10 o'clock in the morning. You can appear via Zoom or you can appear in person for that proceeding, okay? For the purposes of his arraignment, is he requesting public defense to represent him in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and the court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. Is the address at Hartford Road accurate for you, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and that's not an address where the alleged victim lives, correct?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Are you currently employed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Where is that?
University Edge, in East Lansing. It's Michigan State University housing.
Okay, what's your phone number, sir?
517-505-7873.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
Not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
Well, if you were on probation or parole, you would probably know it. Okay, no court has sentenced you to oversight?
No, ma'am.
Okay, do you have any other matters pending in any other courts?
No, Your Honor.
Was he picked up for something else?
Your Honor, all I know about this warrant.
Okay, I just looking at his criminal history and I see, it looks like something else may be pending in Eaton County. Okay. You can address bond.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Patrick Christian reports that he doesn't have any violent or felony convictions. He is working in the student housing across from Frandor in East Lansing. He's been doing that job for over 2 years. He reports he does share a child with the complaining witness. It's a 2-year-old son. He's right now he's nonverbal, and there is a specialist that's supposed to meet with him on December 4th, and it's supposed to be a meeting at the alleged victim's home. And unfortunately, Mr. Patrick Christian is supposed to be there, but I don't know if there's anything the court can do. Otherwise, we'd just be requesting a personal recognizance bond with a third party to communicate about custody and maintenance of the child.
Okay. I don't see any prior convictions on his criminal history. Of personal recognizance bond will be granted. I'll grant bond in the amount of $500 personal recognizance. There is going to be a no contact order in place for the protection of the alleged victim, Autumn Thwing. Any custody or family related matters that are of concern, he needs to seek his assistance through the family court. I'm not going to address any of that at this court. Okay, while out on bond, you're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol, marijuana, or controlled substance unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with the victim in this matter, Autumn Thwing. And that means no third-party contact unless you get an order from the family court saying that you could do so for the purposes of your child care, okay?
Your Honor, thank you.
You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. And you need to report to all of your future court dates. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
I do have a question, Your Honor. I own a pistol and a rifle at home. What would I be doing with said items?
You're gonna need to make arrangements because you're not to be in possession of a firearm during the pendency of this matter, okay?
Okay, so as long as it's a friend that can hold it for the time being, is that all right, Your Honor?
That's completely fine. You can make other arrangements. You can have a family member take it that can lawfully take it, but you can't be in possession during the pendency of the matter, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
You're all set for today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay, we're on the record in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Sarah Marie Chappelle. Council appearance.
Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant for the purpose of arraignment only, while she appears separately from the Lansing Police Department.
Oh, and you're Miss Sarah Marie Chappelle. Can you say that again, because I didn't hear you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Today's the date and the time that's set for an arraignment. I have a misdemeanor complaint here. It alleges that on or about November 23rd, 2023, at the area of 3605 Palmer, which is in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan, that you did allegedly, contrary to law, commit the act in count 1 of assault or assault and battery. It said that you did allegedly make an assault or assault and battery upon the following person, that being a David Anderson, and that this was done contrary to Michigan Compiled Law 750.811. Restitution may be ordered as this offense may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. This is a misdemeanor. The maximum penalty is 93 days in jail and or $500 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you have the right to counsel, and you have the right to be represented by counsel at each of your court proceedings. Ms. Donnelly is representing you today for the purposes of your arraignment, but you have the right to have court-appointed counsel appointed to represent you if you can't afford to hire an attorney, and you seek to have one appointed. Do you understand your right to counsel?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You have the right to plead not guilty, or you have the right to stand mute. If you stand mute, the matter will continue all the way to a jury trial. And you have the right to a jury trial. And at the time of your trial, you have the right to the presumption of innocence. So that means you are considered innocent until the people can prove you guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt at trial by proving each element of the charge of assault and battery beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to confront, cross-examine, and question any other witnesses in court that the prosecution intends to call against you at your trial. You have the right to call your own witnesses to trial or present evidence at trial that you believe further a defense to the charge being brought against you. And you have the right to remain silent at your trial and not have the silence be used against you. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. You will be scheduled for a pretrial conference, and you'll get notice in the mail from the court as to what judge that will be before and the date and time, okay? have an address here of 3605 Palmer Street as your current home address, but that's the address of the
Yes, Your
alleged
Honor.
witness, correct? Okay, where will you stay during the pendency of this matter, because you won't be able to stay in the same place as the alleged victim?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. Probably the streets or my sisters.
You said, or your sisters?
Probably, or the streets, I don't know, somewhere, I'll find somewhere, I always do.
Are you currently employed?
Nope,
Do you have a phone number?
I do.
What is your phone number?
989-472-7417.
Okay, we need an address that we can send your mail to, because that's where we'll send the notice to appear.
Not that I know of.
Okay, so we'll have the notice still sent to the 3605 Palmer Street, but just so you're aware, there's gonna be a protective order, so if the protected party is going to be staying there, you won't be able to go and get the mail yourself, but you can send someone to get the mail on your behalf, okay? Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay. Are you currently on probation or on parole?
No, Your Honor.
Is she requesting court-appointed counsel, Ms. Donnelly?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. You can address bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Chappelle reports that she has no criminal history. She is from Lansing. I know that it will be problem that she has to solve on where she needs to sleep tonight that isn't at the Palmer Street address, but I would be requesting a personal recognizance bond because I just don't believe she's a flight risk or that she'll be a danger. Thank you, Your Honor.
Have you missed court before?
Can you repeat the question, please? I'm sorry.
Have you ever missed court in the past?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, she doesn't have any prior criminal history, but there's been multiple charges, all violent in nature, but no convictions. So that is somewhat of a concern for the court, but she doesn't have any convictions. Some of these charges were more recent, which is why I asked you if you've ever missed court in the past. With that being said, I'm gonna need an address within 48 hours, that's business hours, of where you're going to be residing, okay?
Okay, Your Honor.
Bond will be set in the amount of 1,000 personal recognizance. While out on bond, you're not to have contact directly or indirectly with the victim in this matter.
Your Honor,
David Anderson. Excuse me?
yes, Your Honor. I was just gonna ask, how would I get in contact?
How would you do what?
How would I get in contact with you? Like, do I just call the court and ask for Miss Simmons or?
Well, it's Judge Simmons, but you wouldn't call me because I don't know that I don't know, you wouldn't call my office, that is, you never call the judge directly. You would not call my office because I don't even know who's this gonna be assigned to. You could call the clerk's office if you don't have information about what court directly, or you can come up to the court and find out when your case has been assigned and when you need to appear, because you need that information as well, and provide us with an updated address. You can do that right at the criminal traffic window in City Hall, okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Okay, so as to your bond conditions, again, you're not to have contact directly or indirectly with David Anderson. So that means you will not have anybody speak to him on your behalf, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever he lives, works, or goes to school. You need to report to all of your future court dates. You're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol, marijuana, or any other controlled substance unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to use, purchase, or possess a firearm or other dangerous weapon during the pendency of this matter. Do you have any questions about your bond conditions?
No, Your Honor.
Lastly, you're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior while out on bond. Do you have any questions about that?
No, Your Honor.
Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
No, thank you.
Okay, you're all set, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna hang up here, and log in the iPad for Mr. Welch.
Thank you.
Wake up sick. Don't have a case number on it.
Hold on. All right. All right, we're ready.
Okay, on the record in the matter, the people of the state of Michigan versus Eric Welch, file number is 23-03430. Counsel, can I have your appearance?
Assistant Public Defender Sarah Donnelly on behalf of the defendant for the purpose of Raymond Ollie White, he appears separately from the Lansing Police Department.
Mr. Welch, can you hear me?
No, ma'am.
You can't
No,
hear
ma'am.
me?
Now I can. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Miss,
Just listen,
are it's important, but before we start,
Just
the attorney I spoke with, not my attorney, they wanted me to lie about the day or my address. First thing she said was try to tell me I live somewhere I don't.
Eric.
Okay, just listen. I don't believe.
Okay, Mr. Welch?
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Welch?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you spoke earlier with the public defender, okay? I do not want to hear anything that went on in your conversation, okay? Because that's protected information, okay?
It's not my public defender.
You don't own any public defenders, sir.
I know, ma'am, and that
Okay.
public defender asked me to say I live somewhere I didn't, so
Eric.
I can't have that public defender.
Eric.
Okay, well, we can get to the bottom of where you live. I don't see why it would be meaningful for Ms. Donnelly to ask you to say you live someplace where you didn't live, but we'll get to the bottom of your address during this proceeding, okay? Mr. Welch, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I wanna
So,
go to the hospital. I wanna
We
take-
will work on that. Let's get this done first and then we will do that. Just focus, please.
okay. Oh, today's the date, Mr. Welch, set for an arraignment. I have here a misdemeanor complaint that alleges that on or about September 2nd, 2023, at the area of Oakland Ave and June Street, which is in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan, that you did allegedly contrary to law commit the act in count 1 of domestic violence. The allegation is that you did make an assault or an assault and battery upon a Lacey Rawl, an individual with whom you had a dating relationship. If convicted, restitution may be ordered, as this offense may have resulted in damage to another individual's property or physical injury or death to another individual. This is a misdemeanor with a maximum penalty of 93 days in jail and up to $500 in fines. A consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. There is, however, a second offense notice. It says, take notice that the defendant was previously convicted of assaulting or assaulting and battering his spouse, former spouse, or an individual with whom he had a dating relationship, an individual with whom he had a child in common, or a resident or former resident of his household, or of knowingly assaulting a pregnant individual by violating the Michigan Compiled Law 750.812 on or about April 22nd, 2003, and therefore upon conviction will be subject to an enhanced sentence under MCL 750.814 that will enhance the sentence on the domestic violence if convicted to a misdemeanor maximum penalty of 1 year and or $1,000 in fines, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charge and the maximum penalty attached, sir?
Kind of. Yeah, sure.
Okay. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. Mrs. Donnelly from the Office of the Public Defender is here today to represent you only for the purpose of your arraignment. You have the right to have an attorney with you to represent you throughout the pendency of the criminal prosecution. And you also have the right to have an attorney with you to represent you if you're questioned by law enforcement. If you cannot afford to hire an attorney, you can make a request to have the Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you at the expense of the public. Do you understand that right?
Yep,
Is that a yes or no?
yep, yep,
Oh, is that a yes?
yes, yeah, yeah. I was
Okay,
saying,
thank you. Thank you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say, anything you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You have the right to plead not guilty, and you have the right to stand mute. If you stand mute, this matter will proceed to a jury trial, and you have the right to jury trial. You have the right to the presumption of innocence at your jury trial. So that means you are considered innocent, and you're innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to require the prosecution to prove your guilt by proving each element of the charge being brought against you beyond a reasonable doubt, and they do that at your jury trial. You understand your rights so far?
I think so.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I would like to know if I can actually have my attorney speak to the attorney that I'll have for this case before so I can fully and intelligently move forward and understand completely what's going on. I would like to make the best possible decision, because I don't know what to think right now. I don't know what to believe right now.
Okay, yep, you do have the right to an attorney, and you did speak with Ms. Donnelly today.
No, she has me a lot. That's not my
Okay,
attorney.
so you're requesting an opportunity to speak with Ms. Donnelly, or would you like to speak with a different public defender before you move forward with your arraignment?
I would like to speak with somebody who's not gonna ask me to lie.
Okay, she's
Okay.
asking if you want to talk to someone else right now, or if you want to retain a lawyer later.
As long as they don't ask me to lie.
Okay, that doesn't answer the question. Do you want to talk
Okay.
to somebody
Well,
different right now?
I think I have an answer, so we'll have to reset his arraignment for tomorrow, and then Ms. Donnelly can see if one of her colleagues can come and speak with him, because it
What-
sounds like there's a breach of the trust there, and so,
Well,
What's the
no,
date?
Your Honor, I'm the weekend arraignment person too. I've warned him that
Weekend
I didn't tell, and I'm just going on the record. Obviously, I did not tell him to lie. He's misconstruing, and I don't know if he can really
Yeah.
understand what's going on. He
You
did,
told me I need to
he
give a
did say some
different
mental
address.
health. I told you
need
that
to
you're gonna
give him
have
a
to live
different
somewhere else. Yes.
Right, that's why. You said you need to tell them you
Okay.
live somewhere different. You can't tell them you live
Okay.
there. That's what you said.
okay. Well, if you don't feel comfortable with her advising you today, sir, your only other option is to wait until we can get another public defender to advise you, because she's the only, this is a holiday, so we're closed. And so we
Okay.
came in especially and specifically for this purpose, and Ms. Donnelly was available to give you advice. From what my understanding is that the advice, this is a domestic violence, and it's standard procedure that if the address of the incident, which is the address of the victim, is also your address, then you're gonna need to find someplace else to reside. And
I
it
can do
sounds
that.
to me like
I
that's
can
what
do
Ms.
that.
Donnelly was trying to advise you about. Is that
No.
your understanding now?
No, ma'am, she did not say that. She said you need
Okay.
to write a different address. You need to give the court a different address as to where you have been living. That's what she told me. And I said,
Okay.
I
Well,
can
we
give you
don't-
an address where I can go, but
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie about where I've been living.
Okay, sounds good. So what we'll do is, if you do not feel comfortable moving forward with your arraignment until there's another attorney, we can postpone this arraignment. You can find your own attorney, you can retain counsel, or we'll see when you can meet with the next public defender that's available. It won't be today, though.
Okay,
I'm inclined to believe it won't be a different public defender tomorrow, but Ms. Donnelly can advise.
I would like a question for the court.
Yes.
Can we set bond? And I
Oh,
get,
we won't set bond. We
We can
won't
set
set
bond.
bond until I finish your arraignment.
okay, we'll finish my arraignment, but we can do
Okay.
it. I don't need a defense attorney. I don't need one to
Okay.
fill in to speak for me as today. I can speak for
Okay, so
myself.
you're ready to continue with the arraignment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So did you have any questions about your rights? Because that was the last question I asked you.
I do have the right to represent myself today and then see the public defender at a later time, correct?
Okay, that's your right. You can waive the representation by counsel. You have the right to represent yourself and you have the right to counsel. So that's your right to decide. And you want to move forward today without the representation of counsel? Is that what you're trying to say?
I would like to move forward today without the representation of Ms. Donnelly.
Okay, sounds good. And you have that right to do that. And so she'll be here on standby should that change, your mind change, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so back to your rights. You have the right to have a trial and you have the right to jury trial. Again, you have the right to the presumption of innocence at your trial. And you have the right to confront in court and cross-examine in court or question in court any other witnesses or the accusers that the prosecutor calls to testify against you. You have the right to call your own witnesses or present evidence at your trial that you believe further a defense to the charge being brought against you. And you also have the right to remain silent at your trial and not have silence be used against you. Do you have any questions about any of those rights?
No, ma'am. I need a hospital.
All right, well, let's finish this and then we'll get you there.
Okay. All right, are you okay, sir?
I don't know. I know I need to go to the hospital.
We will take you.
Okay, well, we'll get you to the hospital in just a moment, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so, for the purposes of your arraignment, we're going to enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. And are you requesting to be represented by a public defender in the future of this matter?
Yes, ma'am. If I can request John Abbott, because he's familiar with me and my situation.
Okay, you can't make a request for a specific attorney, but the public defender's office has their process and they will screen your case and they will assign it appropriately, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you currently on probation or on parole?
Oh, ma'am.
I don't have a copy of his criminal history for some reason. Have you ever missed court in the past?
Not as long as I was able, like, I never tested, like, I've had to reschedule court date before.
Okay, what is your address?
I live at 505 Chilson, but it's my understanding that I'm gonna have to stay somewhere different, but the address is currently 505 Chilson.
Okay, is that the address that Lacey Raw lives?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well then you won't be able to stay there during this matter. So where will you stay?
Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna go to probably my sister's house or a good friend of mine, in Hull. The address in Hull will be 4400, apartment 301, Hull Road, Hull, Michigan. If I go to my sister's, it's gonna be,
You said
74.
4400 Holt Road?
Yep, 4400 Hull Road, apartment 301. But as soon as I'm able, because I haven't been able to call anyone, I'm gonna call him and I'm gonna call my sisters. If it's not there, it would be 74 Langley, Battle Creek, Michigan. More than likely it'll be local, I'll go to Hull, and then if necessary, I'll go to Langley, 74 Langley in Battle Creek, where I'm just not 100% sure everybody's situation, but both places I can go, no problem.
What's your phone number?
I don't know. My phone, it hasn't worked since Lacey picked me up from CMH. I'm supposed to meet my son the next day. We were gonna go make a report about what happened the day I was arrested.
Oh.
My
So
phone
you don't have a phone, you don't know your phone number?
it don't work.
Okay,
Keep telling me it was one issue. I don't know.
okay. You're currently scheduled to have a pretrial conference and you're scheduled before Judge Cynthia Ward. It's gonna be on December 11th at 2023 at 10:30 in the morning, okay? Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and we'll get you a copy of your notice to appear. I do not have his criminal history, and so I can't assess, other than the fact that he's being charged as a domestic violence second offense, that there's at least one other domestic violence on his record. Only thing I have before me is the current file, and the affidavit of probable cause. And so based on those things only, I will grant a personal recognizance bond, but with GPS tether. And so bond is set at the amount of 1,000 personal recognizance, and a GPS tether is ordered. You're not to be within 1,500 feet of Lacey Rawl. You're not to have contact directly or indirectly with Lacey Rawl. You're not to talk over me when I'm talking.
I'm sorry.
You need to make sure you appear to all of your court dates, and you need to appear timely. You're not to use, purchase, or possess alcohol, or drugs unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to possess a firearm or any other dangerous weapon. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. Do you have any questions about your bond?
$1,000 or how?
It's $1,000 personal recognizance with GPS tether.
Okay, okay, so I have to pay it to tell it later. I don't have to give $1,000 to be put on it.
You do not, because it's personal recognizance. You don't have to pay the $1,000. You do have to secure a GPS tether though, okay?
How do I secure it?
If you can't afford to pay for the tether, you would have to apply for assistance to have that covered, okay?
Okay.
Ms. Donnelly, Ms. Donnelly would have more information about how you can apply for that.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, but I'm currently on assistance. I get food stamps and,
Okay, so it sounds like you could potentially be eligible, but you would want to speak with Ms. Donnelly about how to do that, okay?
I don't trust me.
You're just asking her about where you go to apply. You'll have to get that down at Ingham County though, okay? In Mason.
Okay, I'll talk to the people there.
Okay, sounds good. Do you have any questions at this time?
No, miss.
You're all set.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I think that's all we have for today.
Yep. Have a good day.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you, Ms. Donnelly.
Thank you, Your Honor.